no corroborating evidence to mean it didn't happen.
Then what do you do with that?
Well, I just want to be clear. I wouldn't suggest that we didn't take it seriously. I just wanted to say
I didn't think you did.
Yeah, because sometimes people have a high expectation and then it still doesn't really get to the bottom line.
I promise, I'm coming from a genuine place of I don't know the answer. So what do you do with it if it's a he said, she said?
Well, I don't know, but I know one thing. I do know one thing.
I hope you know more than one thing.
And I think Kamala Harris has to consider this. As many people who would say we need to take Dr. Tyson as seriously as Dr. Blasey Ford, if it boils down to Justin Fairfax having to resign and the two blackface people don't, then those very same people will say, now, wait a minute, that's sort of a double standard.
Because, but hold on a second. Sexual assault is a crime, and blackface is awful, but it's not a crime.
Well, but the calls have been for them to resign, too.
But I'm saying those are two different things.
So you have double victimization. You have Dr. Tyson as an African-American woman being victimized, and then you have an African-American elected official with an enormous black vote in Virginia. He has to pay a price that nobody else does.
Yeah, but he'd be paying a price for something different than what the other two.
It would be different, but Stephanie, the original crime was blackface on the part of Northam.
Which is awful, but it's not a crime.
Everyone said resign. Well, it's a crime to us as black people. That is a crime.
Okay.
That is unacceptable. And I'll share something else with you too. I mean, this is Black History Month. So it's not as if there's a distinct history. And this is where you get into a little bit of the tug of war, I think, within the African-American culture, where you want to deal with an issue like sexual assault. But by the same token, our history in America is black men being accused of sexual assault wrongfully and lynched for it. And in a state like Virginia, that's a big deal. I just want to add one other thing, too.
That's a good point.
So, I mean, so it gets complicated like that. Now, Dr. Tyson, of course, is an African-American woman. But again, watch this. If it's not able to be resolved by an investigation, she's not fully resolved, okay? If he then has to resign anyway, then it's still two African Americans. That affects African Americans.
That are both victims here.
It affects the black vote, which no Democrat running for office in Virginia or no president who needs Virginia to remain blue can afford to lose. So maybe the solution is everybody just resigns. And before that, Herring appoints his deputy